In this video, we're gonna do some questions similar to the EMSAT exam. So in the first question, they're asking you what is the solution set of the following equation. So the first step, I need to look at the basis, since you have number exponent x squared plus 4x and another number exponent negative 6, and they are equal. So it's better to look always at the bases. So can I change one of the bases to the other one? For example, can I change the 4 to 2? Actually, we know that 4 is 2 squared. So instead of the 4, I will write 2 squared and x squared plus 4x equals to 2 exponent negative 6. Now, whenever you have a exponent n exponent m, the answer will be a exponent n times m. So basically we need to multiply the 2 with the other exponent. We get 2 exponent, 2x squared, and we distribute. Plus 8x equals 2 exponent negative 6. Now, since the bases are equal, then the exponents must be equal. Why is that? Because we have equality between these two. So 2x squared plus 8x equals negative 6. This is a quadratic equation. We need to keep everything on the left side. And now if you have calculator, you can use calculator to solve this quadratic equation, or you can use the quadratic formula. Now this looks like ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. A is the coefficient of x squared, b is the coefficient of x, and c is the constant number. If you're applying the quadratic formula, you can find delta first, which is b squared minus 4ac, and then apply the rules. So if delta is positive, we get 2 roots, minus b minus radical delta over 2a, and the other one is minus b plus radical delta over 2a. Now, in this case, a equals 2, b equals 8, and c equals 6. So delta will be 8 squared minus 4 times a times c, and make sure to write each number in parentheses. So b squared, if the number is negative 8, you must write negative 8 all squared. So the square is outside the parentheses. So we get 64 minus 48, and the answer will be 16, which is positive. So we have 2 roots here. The first one is minus b, so minus 8 minus radical 16 over 2 times 2, because a is 2, and we get minus 8 minus 4 over 4, which is negative 12 over 4, and the first answer is negative 3. The other one, same thing, but we write plus in the middle. We get minus 8 plus 4 over 4, which is minus 4 over 4, and the answer will be negative 1. So the solution set will look like this: minus 1 minus 3, or we can write it as minus 3 minus 1. It's fine. Alright. Another question. So Samer and Sami play basketball each week. The probability that Samer wins the first game against Sami is 2 over 3. So till here I have a given probability of winning. So Samer wins the first game is 2 over 3. Now, what is the probability that Samer wins exactly 3 of the next 4 games? Now, before we proceed with this question, I know that probability of winning is 2 over 3, but this is related to an event and its complement. So we have winning, the complement of winning, which is the negation of winning, it's losing. So if winning is 2 over 3, then the probability of losing will be 1 minus 2 over 3. Always you use the idea of complement. So probability of losing will be 1 minus probability of winning. It's always true. So 1 minus 2 over 3, which is 1 over 3. Now, knowing this idea, I have to find, out of the 4 games, I want Samer to win exactly 3 games. Now, he can win the first, win the second, win the third, and lose the fourth. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3 here, I'm just writing them to say winning the first, winning the second, the third, and losing the fourth. Alright, the probability of winning the first is 2 over 3. And he must win the second. So again 2 over 3. And winning the third is 2 over 3. And losing the fourth one, which is 1 over 3. If they say exactly winning 3, so out of the 4 matches or 4 games, he must win only 3 games. Now, why am I using multiplication not addition? Because in probability, whenever I say he's winning the first and winning the second and winning the third and losing the fourth one, and it means multiplication in probability. So whenever you say and, you must multiply. Alright, when I do this, 2 times 2 times 2 times 1, we're gonna get 8. And down 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 will be 81. However, this is not our final answer. Why is that? The idea is, out of the 4 games, he must win exactly 3. But he can win the first 3 and lose the fourth, or he might win the first 2, then lose, then win. Or he might win the first, lose the second, win, and win. Or he might lose the first game but win the last 3 games. So basically, how many options we have here? I have the first case, so first option, second option, third, and fourth. So basically, Samer here, he can win 3 games out of the 4 games exactly in 4 ways. Either winning the first 3 and losing the fourth, or winning the first 2, then losing, then winning, or winning the first, losing, then win, or lose the first and then win the last 3. All of these probabilities, when you calculate them, but instead of wasting time, they will be the same answer as the previous one. So basically, no need to actually calculate these again. You can just calculate one of them and then say 8 out of 81 multiplied by 4, because we have 4 ways of winning 3 out of 4 games. And your final answer will be 32 over 81. This is one of the trickiest questions. Now, solve a quadratic equation. Now, instead of writing x squared minus 3x equals 9, they wrote y, and that's totally fine. They might write t, any letter, to denote the variable. So for quadratic, we need to write it in the form ax squared, as I said before, plus bx plus c equals to 0. Now, if you have calculator, you can use the calculator to find the answers, or you must find delta. So in this case, a is equal to 1, which is the coefficient of the term with exponent 2. b is equal to negative 3. It's the coefficient with y or x or t or whatever. And c is the constant number on its own. Now, applying the quadratic formula, we get minus 3 all squared minus 4. If you don't write parentheses here, your final answer will be wrong. we get 9 plus 36, which is 45. Because it's positive, we have two roots, which are minus b minus radical delta over 2a. So minus 3. This is the negative b. Many students, they write only negative 3, which is wrong. So minus, and b is negative 3, so you write negative 3 in parentheses, minus radical of delta, which is 45, over 2 times a, which is 1. So we get 3 minus, now radical of 45, if you have calculator, it will give you your final answer in simplest form. But I know 45 is equal to 9 times 5, and 9 is 3 squared basically. So 3 squared times 5, I know that the 3 squared can go outside as 3. So we get 3 minus 3 radical 5 over 2. This is for the first root. And the second root, basically applying the same idea, you get 3 plus 3 radical 5 over 2. So it has two answers, and here they are. Now, if they write for you one option, which is 3 plus or minus 3 radical 5 over 2, you will select that as correct answer, because one of the answers is with plus, the other one is with negative. In this question, Amna pays a monthly fee of 18 dirhams and she pays an additional 5 fills per minute of use. Now the least she has been charged in a month is 71.90 dirhams. Now what is the minimum number of minutes she has used on her phone in a month? Now first of all, I can notice that I'm talking here dirhams, but this one is fills. So usually we don't work with different units because it will be much harder for us. Now the idea is to know that 1 fills is 0.01 dirhams. So basically 5 fills will be 0.05 dirhams. You can multiply here by 5 and there by 5 to get it. Alright, knowing this, she's paying 18 dirhams for a fixed monthly fee. At the beginning of the month, they charge her 18 dirhams even if she doesn't use any minute on her phone. Now, once she starts using her phone and calling people, she's gonna be charged 5 fills per minute. Now, if she calls only 1 minute, it will be plus 0.05. If she uses 2 minutes, it will be 0.05 times 2. If she does 3 minutes, it will be times 3, and so on. Now, because we don't know how many minutes used, I'm gonna denote it by x. So let x be the number of minutes she has used on her phone. Alright, so 18 plus the amount of minutes multiplied by 0.05 was at least. What is the meaning of at least? The minimum is 71.90. So the amount she's paying is always greater than or equal to 71.90, because this is the minimum she paid. So always she's paying either more or equal to this amount. Now, knowing this inequality, the rest will be so easy just by solving it. Will be 0.05x, and we move the 18 to the other side. It will be 71.90 minus 18. So we get 0.05x greater than or equal to, when we do 71 minus 18, it will be 53.90. And the last step, we can divide here by 0.05 to remove it, and on the other side, the same thing. It cancels out on the left side, and we get 1078. Now, how do you write your answer? They asked you to find the minimum number of minutes used. So because the minimum number here is 1078. Why is that? Because they're telling you the number of minutes x is either greater than 1078 or equal to it. So the minimum number is 1078 minutes. In this question, they're telling you a company sells dates in boxes of two different sizes, the regular size and the family size. Now the length of the family size box has been increased by 15%, and the height has been increased by 25%, and the width remains the same as compared to the regular size box. The question is, what is the percentage of increase in the volume from regular box to family box? Round your answer to the nearest percent. Alright. Now, no need to draw in this question, but I will draw just to explain to you. So this is the regular box and this is the family box. Now, before we start with this, I want you to remember this 100%, it means 100 over 100. So always percent, it means over 100, which is the same thing as 1. Now, the regular box, it has a length, it has a width, and it has a height. And I know that the volume of a rectangular prism, or basically box, is just L times W times height. Now, when I say 1L, it's just L by itself. Whenever you take the full quantity or the full length of the side, it means you're taking 100% of the side. The width, I'm not gonna touch it because it didn't change in this question. And the height, we know that the height changed, but the main one was like the full height, which is 1 height, 1 times h is h. But instead of writing 1h, I will write it as 100%. Alright, now, what happened to the new box? How did we get the family box using the regular box? They told you that the length has increased by 15% and the height increased by 25%. So basically the length will be 100% plus 15% of the original one, so times L. And the height has increased by 25%, so we need to add to the 100% 25%. H. The W stayed the same. The width didn't change. They told you this in the question. Now, what happened to the volume here? So the new volume of the family box will be 100% plus 15% is 115% L times, so you're gonna do L times W times H, but now L is not L, it's 115% because it was increased by 15%. The width, it stays the same, and the height, it becomes 125% H. So this is our new H, basically. And here, it's our new length. So if you want to call this as L1 times width times the new height, H1. I know that L1 will be 115% of the old L. The width didn't change, and H1 is 125% of the old height. Now calculating this is 115 over 100 L multiplied by W multiplied by 125 over 100 H. Now we're 100% sure that all of this multiplication, right? L times W times H, it's just, as you can see, it's the volume of the box, the normal one, the regular one, the one we calculated at the beginning. And when you calculate 115 times 125, it will be 14375 over 100 times 100, which is 10,000. So basically, when you calculate this one and you finalize your answer, it will be 1.4375 of volume of the regular box. Now, they want you to write the answer as percentage. So if you round this to the nearest percent, it means to the nearest hundredth. This is the meaning of percent, will be 1.44. Which is basically 144 over 100. I'm writing too many details for sure when you're solving, no need to write all of these. So 144% of the volume of the regular box. So what was the increase? Always the original thing, it was 100%. So the volume of regular box, it was 100%, but now it became 144% to get the family box. So what was the increase? Our increase was 144% minus the 100%, which is basically the main volume of the box, and our increase was 44%. And this is our final answer.